Hello back my watch buddies and my amazing friends. This video regarding reset, because I'm not over it yet. After finishing the show and having the opportunity to think about it and reading your comments and understanding so much of what I have missed while watching the show, which I'm very grateful and thankful for, by the way, I got to see the show under a whole different light. Especially that I was watching it for the first time, which, by the way, I have to say, this show definitely deserved to be watched again, and I'm definitely gonna watch it again, because I'm sure the next time I watch it, I'm gonna understand it more. And I'm not just gonna watch it again just because of how good the show is itself, it's mainly for the acting. The acting, it was superb. It was perfection in itself, honestly. The message alone that the show was sending to us, and it was not just one message, it were many messages. I think the main two messages were harassment and cyberbullying, but also it was showing us how certain things can impact the lives of so many people. And now let's start. Number one, two main acts. The show was showing us the moral struggle that we can go through as human beings. The problem is with me when I was watching the show is that when I noticed what the two main actors were put in, the situation they were put in, I accepted it from the first second. So you are giving this chance to save these people, so you're gonna have to do it. And thankfully, your comments have made me see everything I did not see at the moment. Now let's discuss another thing, which is episode 8 and 9. Why I was so upset with the people not helping. I totally didn't notice the fact that they don't know. They don't know that this woman has a bomb. They don't know what's gonna happen. They don't know what the two main characters were put in. What was the situation? To them, they were just seeing strangers fighting. So my original watch buddies who have watched my previous videos, especially Tsenla and Jie, know that how I get emotional and caught in the moment and not notice a few of the details that were happening around me. So yeah, I don't know how to do about that, but I am a very emotional person and there is nothing I can do about it, and I don't even want to change that. And thank you so much for your kind comments when you were just supporting and telling me that it's okay to be me, because it's okay for all of us to be ourselves. Other thing I need to talk about was the way Xie Huan was acting after he on the bus and how it affected him. I did say at the moment that he was traumatized, but I was giving more attention to the fact that there is another cycle, so it's okay, but it's not okay. Of course it wasn't okay. Of course, even if they would have another chance to not repeat the mistakes they have made, it's been done, it's traumatizing, and it would leave a long-lasting effect. I don't know what came over me and not showing enough compassion to him, but I totally see it and understand it, and I thank you so much again for helping me understand more. I can only blame myself for that mistake, because I get too immersed and too concerned with what's going on that I might miss on some, details here and there. Which again, I thank you for helping me see the whole picture. Let's also talk about the character development. We can see almost from the start that Lee has accepted her part. I'm gonna save the day, which is normal for a human being. It's a normal human behavior. The other normal human behavior was Xie Huan. He didn't know what to do and he wanted to save himself. That is also a very normal human behavior. We can't blame him for it. But we also saw how it changed over time. How he changed himself. How he was no, I need to help. The show was giving us how a human being would react. And the two reactions were completely normal. One who from the beginning wanted to do the right thing. The other took his time. Absolutely normal, nothing wrong about that. Which made me really appreciate how the show was giving us the normal human experience when put in tough situations. In actually life and death situations. I also love how he started to rethink the game he was designing and how much violence was in that game after going through that experience itself. It's it opened his eyes to other things, and that was also a very beautiful detail, showing us again human nature and how human beings develop and think and change. So I guess I have to again say it. The acting in this show, every single actor in this show, starting with the two main characters and every other supporting character. Not one of them, and I dare any of you to tell me that any of them didn't do a good job. It was brilliant. Every single one was showing us how a human being does things. Which brings us also to the grief part of the show. The mother and father, how they behaved after the death of their daughter. Obviously, after what had happened, they struggled, they grieved, they were sad, but they went about their lives just like anyone else. He went back to his job and she went back to teaching. The tipping point was when she saw how the people were reacting to what happened to her daughter. She knew her daughter. She knew her daughter was kind, smart, and she knew she was not crazy or mean. So when she saw what the people were saying online, it pushed her. It pushed her to the limit. So the logical thing to her, making people pay for what had happened to her daughter. Of course, none of us agrees with that, but that's the plot of the show. And some people react like that when they are pushed to the limit. Some people, when they are pushed and cornered, they have two options. Be calm and rethink and look at the whole picture. And some people turn to get defensive and attack. Again, human behavior. Again, amazing show. The show was giving us so many details of how everyone else would react under certain situations. It also gave us like the point of view of the father. He didn't want to hurt anyone, but he watched what happened to his wife and he felt like, I'm gonna have to help her no matter what and no matter how wrong it is. Another human behavior, when we enable someone's wrong behavior because of how we're attached to them. Now we talk about harassment. The reason why Mang died. I don't think any of us even disagrees on how disgusting harassment is and how shocking that act can be to the victim. Which explains why Mang didn't get off the bus. When I said I wish she had gotten off the bus, the girl who took the picture had left the bus already. Because she froze. She was so scared, so afraid and shocked that she didn't know how to process what was happening to her other than freeze, hoping this would stop. I think all of us can actually relate to that. At least some of us can relate to that when we're being put in a situation where we froze and we didn't know how to react. That's, I think, what she was going through. And of course, after she came out of that shock, she freaked out. She felt unsafe. And that the only right thing that could be done is leaving the bus. And of course, it resulted in her death. Not her mistake, obviously. And now let's also talk about guilt. The guilt that made the girl who took the picture save it for 5 years. I mean, she could have deleted it and pretended like nothing happened. She couldn't. She kept that picture because she felt guilty. She knew that one day the truth has to come out. We could see how the guilt was eating her from inside. But she only did that because of what she was also put under. The awful advice from her mother and the commenters online who made her believe that she could go to jail. Imagine if she had posted the picture, come out with the truth, and Mang's parents have known what happened, and the guy who harassed her got punished. None of this would have happened. Which is another thing that the show was showing us. Causes and consequences. The consequences of our own action. Which is, I think, the main message of the show. How our actions have consequences. Good or bad. Which makes me once again have to say how amazing this show was when it came to showing us the massive spectrum of human reactions and what actions we as humans can make that could result in horrible things, which is the reality, of course. Now, another thing to talk about is me watching the show thinking it was a totally different show. It's a show about a guy who goes back in time to save his girlfriend and the romance about that. At least we did get some romance actually in this show. Subtle romance. Yes, Xiao went back because he wanted to help the people and help Lee save everyone. But I think also like another reason that made him do that is his relationship with Lee. Maybe at that time he didn't know how he feels for her, but he knew he was feeling something. So it was showing us also how romance can start. You know, it doesn't have to always be two people looking eyes and that's it. We're in love. No, it shows us that it progresses from one thing to another. So we saw that at the very end they hugged and kissed, which I was so happy to see. They not only developed romantic feelings for each other, but trust, which they had developed over the loops. With each loop they started trusting each other more and more and more, which was amazing to see, of course. The last thing, which was online harassment and online bullying. How saying the wrong thing online affect other people's lives. The funny thing is that this is actually one of the main messages of the show. Yet, some people decided to say some not nice things to me, in the videos, and I was like, come on, like, have you watched the show? Like, do you see the message of the show? And yet this is how you decide to react to me? Because in your point of view, I didn't react the right way that you wanted me to react to the video. I have to say, I am sorry. I really am sorry that if my reaction videos like upset some of you, but it's a reaction video. And I swear to you, I have never seen any of these episodes online. I didn't even know what the show was about. Like, even when I did actually get some advices telling me that I should watch the show and know what it's about, or at least go and like search and know what the show is about, I don't do that because I'm afraid it would ruin my experience when watching the show. I actually like to be shocked. I like to be surprised. And I like that the camera that I'm using just records my most honest reaction to what I'm seeing. And I think if I actually watched anything once before I react to it is some sort of cheating. Because I don't want to search and I don't want to know how I should react or what I should say to make the people like me. I think the main reason of a reaction video is reaction itself and how I can give you my most honest reaction. So I know I have so many supporters here who watch me for that, and for that I am so thankful, and I love you all so much. And for those who were offended, I am really sorry. I really didn't mean to offend anyone at all. I have to tell you once again, when I'm watching something, I fully immerse in the show itself, that maybe my reactions to some of you would seem too much or wrong. And I'm sorry that you feel that way, but honestly, this is how I react to what I was seeing. And I don't know what else I could do about that. With that being said, thank you so very much for watching Reset with me. Thank you so much for your explanations. Thank you so much for your messages. But you know, I have to say, what really overshadowed the few not nice comments that I have read on the videos was the amount of amazing and beautiful messages and comments I have seen supporting me and telling me it's okay to be who I am. It's okay to feel the way I was feeling. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be shocked. It's okay to be me. Telling me that means the world. You have no idea how supporting me like that means to me. And I love you all so much. And I also want to give it back to you and say you are amazing. And who you are is perfect. And thank you so very much for being you. And thank you for telling me that it's okay to be me. And to finish all this off, I want to tell you that there is another video coming where I'm gonna tell you which shows I'm gonna watch next, when, how, and so much more. And I promise you, it's gonna be an amazing surprise that I am hoping and I know it's gonna make you all happy. So, my watch buddies, wait for me. Bye.